Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. Myself Dr. Bhagwan Singh from Central University of Himachal Pradesh, Head of Department of Marketing and Supply Chain Management, School of Business and Management Studies. Today we are going to talk on changing marketing environment from paper marketing management. Now, to know this and understand this chapter, why we should study changing marketing environment, these are the learning and instruction objectives. Define marketing environment. After this, you will be knowing how to define marketing environment. You will be knowing different types of marketing environment. You will be knowing understanding the changing marketing environment. Know how elements of macro and micro environment, means you will be aware of macro and micro environment that affects the changing marketing environment, and you will be knowing about how to know the whole scenario of the marketing environment when it changes due to macro and micro environment, and the gist will be there and you will be solving the review questions. Now, since we are observing the business today, it is not mere a transaction of monetary benefits from one person to another. Neither it is the indicator of the growth of prosperity nor wealth. It is a fully complex, strategically defined and well organized plan which works under various number one dependent and number two independent variables, popularly termed as business environment. Now, these variables or these environment do affect the total business environment. So, they are fully dependent on the business environment where it is conducted, organized, developed and flourished. As the environment is changing, it is giving full impact on changing marketing environment. Today, it is the requirement to understand how this changing scenario of the market goes into the business environment. The companies and CEO of business-minded people are not talking monthly sales graph. Rather, they are focusing on customer satisfaction. Means being a customer, if I am not satisfied, I am not aware of the company's product. So CEO or business entrepreneurs, they are planning to penetrate not only the sales graph, but the customer satisfaction feeling. They want that customers should be satisfied. Workers working in the organization are causative to the welfare of the society and of each other and obtaining satisfaction of their own needs. In turn, this multifaceted network of exchanges results in a societal betterment and good standard of living for everybody. So it's not that labor is coming, going and that's finished. No, their need has to be satisfied in all terms and the standard of living of everybody should improve. So this is giving an impact on changes and thus affecting the marketing environment. So to study this, we have to study changing marketing environment. Hence, all the businesses are dependent on the changes in business environment, leading towards customer satisfaction. And what is customer satisfaction? Customer satisfaction comes from observing various issues related to the needs of the consumer, which is affected by changing marketing environment. This is done by exploring the players or stakeholders operating in this environment, which has its own dynamics in this marketing scenario. So to define, now what is definition of marketing environment? So marketing environment consists of all the actors and forces influencing the company's ability to transact business effectively with its target market. Means marketing environment is the environment which clubs the entire number one macro environment, where business operates in which firms with their capacity. Second, micro environment, which influences their customers by their projection, that is marketing mix, and to be best from their competitors. So, what are the types of environment? Now, here we have explained types of marketing environment. So, as we have already discussed and you have seen that there are basically two types of marketing environment. Number one, macro environment. Number two, micro environment. So, macro environment are the factors that affect all the firms in an industry, and external environment are the factors that operate outside of the organization, whereas micro environment are the factors that affect one firm only, and internal environment are the factors that operate within the organization. Understanding changing marketing environment. So here let's explain first macro and external environment. So it goes to, for memorizing, I have accumulated as CN pastel G. CN pastel G. C stands for cultural, N stands for natural, P stands for political, E stands for economical, S stands for social, T stands for technological, again the next E stands for ecological, L stands for legal, and the last one G stands for global. And in micro environment, number one is the company, then the supplier, then the marketing intermediaries, then the customers, then the public, and the last competitors. So if you want to rate them as number, so number one is company, second suppliers, third marketing intermediaries, fourth public, fifth competitors, and sixth customers. So one can see in an elaborated form. As we were discussing, macro or external environment. So C and pastel G. So number one, C, cultural environment. Now marketing mission has to consider this factor while planning for product launch or promotion. Culture is from what and where the people upbringing has been done. It projects the behavior, attitude, perception, and customs under which the customer has been present. So this refers to the differences in customs, beliefs, and behaviors between peoples. It is shared set of beliefs and behaviors prevalent within the society in which the company operates. So these include purchasing behavior, gift giving behavior, gender roles, age, location, language, religious beliefs, history, religion, customary ways of working, and the like. So when it changes, it affects the changing marketing environment. The cultural environment also includes socio-cultural environment. So what is socio-cultural environment? It is a set of beliefs, customs, and practices and behavior that exist within a population. So international companies often include an examination of socio-cultural environment prior to entering their target market. This revolves around basic four elements. Number one, demographic. Number two, cultural. Number three, social ethics and responsibility. And number fourth is consumerism. So socio-cultural environment basically includes demographic, cultural, consumerism, and social and ethics responsibilities. Now it explains natural environment. So natural environment is the changes in this environment hits changing marketing environment. How? The companies are threatened by natural climatic environment, especially where there are prior declared danger zones. Likewise, say about earthquake or seismic zone, tsunami prone areas, volcanic terroma, etc. Now, these natural environments affect the business companies to get the insurance done for their officials, for their employees, for any natural disaster. And this burden ultimately lies on the pricing policy of the company, which in turn affects the consumer's pocket. So, the main factors which affect this environment are environmental sustainability, increased government involvement, increased pollution, less awareness for alternative resources, limited natural resources, raw material shortage. Under this environment, the key concerns are geological activities, water on earth, atmosphere, climate, weather, life, ecosystem, and wilderness. These all you will be knowing in the e-text in detail. So let's go to the next environment in slide number 19, that is political environment. How it affects the changing marketing environment? It affects that country is governed by the political system which prevails as per constitution or governance. So India, being the democratic country, is fully dependent on this political environment. No business in the country Bharat is thought or perceived without politics. Rather, nowadays, even politics has become the business. The changes in political business are argued to be the prominent factors affecting changes in marketing environment. Hence, the marketers have to look this environment on a very crucial angle. Their decision-making capacity is very much affected due to this environment. Political factors are the areas which include laws related to labor, environment, trade restriction, tariffs, taxing policy, and obviously political stability. So political factors also includes goods and services which the governments aim to provide, that is merit goods, and those government does not want to provide, that is demerit goods. The government also have a high impact on health, education, and infrastructure of a nation. To be more specific on political environments, the major factors which are looked by the marketers in this environment which impacts on changing marketing environment. These are corruption prevailing and its level, government stability, government stand on environmental and consumer protection legislations, international treaties, reputation and FDI policies, levels of corruption in bureaucracy and its control, media's freedom, other factors directly or indirectly controlled by politicians or politics, regulatory bodies or regulations by these regulatory bodies and deregulation trends, social and employment legislation, taxation policy, trade and tariff policy and its control, and type of governance, type of government, central or state. Switch to the next environment, the economical environment. Now, economical environment, basically the economics deals in a very good matter of any country. The economic environment broadly consists of competition, current and projected economic growth, impact of globalization, inflation and interest rates, infrastructure, labor costs, level of disposable income and income distribution, likely impact of technological or other changes in the economy, per capita income, stages of business cycle, unemployment and supply of labor, other changes related to the economy. So here the economical environment is affected, and this economic environment affects the changing marketing environment. The social environment. The issue related to social environment which affects the changing marketing environment are education, occupation, earning capacity, living standards, cultural aspects, population growth rate, health consciousness, demographic, age, gender, race, family size and geographic distribution, ethical issues, diversity, immigration, ethnic or religious factors, organizational culture, attitudes to the work, management style, staff attitudes, then media's views, law changes affecting social factors, trends and advertising publicity. This contains technological environment. Now, technological environment is basically related to the innovations and inventions. The major issues pertaining to these environments which impinge changing marketing environments are competing technological developments, information technology, internet, global and local communications, inventions and innovations, maturity of technology, research and development activities, popularly called as R&D activities. Then rates of obsolescence. Obsolescence means which technology is now obsolete and what is the rate behind it. Then technological access, replacement technology or solutions, then intellectual property issues, advances in manufacturing or production houses, then technological rules, legislations, licensing and patents. Then transportation, energy uses, alternative sources for fuels, associated or dependent technology. Then waste management or removable or recycling concepts. So these are the things which are inculcated in technological environment. Say for example, Apple is the best leader in iPads, iPhones and iPod market. Its innovation and inventions are such that no company is touching or reaching to customers' expectation as the Apple does. So this is how the technological environment affects the changing marketing environment. The ecological and eco-friendly environment. Ecological or eco-friendly environment aspects are those which directly hamper the environmental issues. The changing environment has a prominent effect from growing awareness of potential impacts of climate change affecting how companies operate the products they offer. Both the concepts of green and the concepts of diminishing or destroying the existing one. So, today, like green marketing has emerged to follow up this environment. The companies are making supernormal profit on the name of going green. For example, previously electronic companies were not rating their products as per electricity consumption. Now they give stars in electrical appliances, predicting less electricity consumption and so forth. Almost all companies dealing in food and beverages are packaging the juices and in Tetra packs of paper instead of bottles. The shampoos are packed in a recyclable plastics. So these are the prominent examples where the ecological or eco-friendly environment is affecting the changing marketing issues. It is the continuation to eco-friendly or ecological environment where ecological issues, environmental regulations, customer values, market values, stakeholder or investor values and other issues pertaining to eco-friendly products are dealt. Then we come to legal environment. Now here, law of any country governs the customer, market and above all what and where to be marketed. Legal environment is essential to be known by the marketers as it permits or limits the changing marketing environment regarding product or services. It includes all acts and laws governing the company, consumer and customer which are revised time to time. Say for banning the liquor in one government and allowing the liquor in other government. So these are the legal issues linked with political issues which does affect the marketing environment. So what are the major factors? For example, Antitrust Law, Companies Act, Compensation Act, Consumer Forums, Consumer Law, Cyber Law, Discrimination Law, Employment Law, Factories Act, Health and Safety Law, Insurance Act, Trade Union Act, other laws rules, regulation and acts related to it. So many environment. The current key concerns under this changing marketing environment: compensation rules, competitive regulations, consumer protection, current home market legislation, employment law, environmental regulation, future legislation, industry specific regulations, international legislation, regulatory bodies and their processes are the legal environmental issues. It's the local environment. So it is a new term evolved in the environment system. By the emergence of internet accessibility, and that too at very low cost, today the online shopping trend is creeping up. This is the best example of changing marketing environment. This environment basically holds two factors: global plus local. That is termed equally as glocal. Global plus local is equal to glocal. In this, the local made products are sold or marketed globally. Hence, these two factors are environment equally affecting marketing environment. That is globalization plus localization. So, globalization and localization clubbed together are called as glocalization. The globe has become a village and the market has taken a new shape of mela. Previously we were used to go to melas. Now this concept has converted into the mall concept. The malls are new conversion of older concept, the melas, where the people used to gather and shop in one defined place. Almost everything was present in these melas for customer to purchase. Now the transformation of these melas is present in new form of malls. The mall culture has given the same feel as of melas. You can see, you can purchase anything at a single place, that is mall, as it was previously in a localized place called melas. So consumer is free to do window shopping and free to purchase at their disposal in malls. So in extension to it, now the marketplace has been converted into market space. That is from real world to virtual world, from physical market to virtual market. This clubs local environment, global plus local. As we have already discussed, macro environment, micro environment, and the internal environment. Micro environment affecting changing marketing environment. So number one position is of the company. The company is the main element in micro environment, as it is the key ruler of the entire changing marketing environment. The stakeholders are connected to it and all the profits and losses regarding it affect the stakeholders, thus affecting the company. So the major concerns involved in it is staff relationship, brand image, goodwill, the market where it operates. Under this comes perfect competition, monopoly, oligopoly or monopolistic competitions. Then the integration or diversification of the company. So this was the first major point, the company of micro environment. Caters suppliers. Suppliers, they are the firms and individuals who are the resource providers for the company. Whatever the company requires, like raw material, travel support, promotion mix, employees, labor, stationery, financial assistance and support is provided by these suppliers. The main factors in bargaining power of suppliers are concentration among suppliers, the degree to which suppliers' products can substitute for each other, vertical integration, switching costs, the importance of the buyer to the supplier. So this is why this environment has internal effect and has to be controlled. To break the monopoly of the suppliers, a number of suppliers should be there. The degree has to be controlled, the vertical integration has to be controlled, the switching cost has to be analyzed, and the importance of buyer to the seller has to be taken care. So, dealing marketing intermediaries. Under this environment, those firms which help the companies to promote, sell, deliver and distribute its goods to final purchasers are involved. Now, changing marketing environment has its own limitations regarding decision making forced by this environment. They help to the companies to forward the product manufactured by the companies to the ultimate customers. This involves what? Resellers, physical distribution firms, marketing service agencies, and financial intermediaries, clubbed together as marketing intermediaries. Public, the fourth point of the micro environment. So what are public? They are those groups that have an actual or potential interest in or impact on an organization's achieves its objectives and goals. They dictate or facilitate the organization to follow its vision, mission or objective and goals, which in turn impacts changing marketing environment. So publics has been bifurcated in few terms. Number one, citizen action publics, financial publics, general publics, government publics, internal publics, local publics, media publics. So these are the publics which are considered, which impact on changing marketing environment. Competitors. Now, what are the competitors? The companies dealing in the same industry with the same or resembled product or services are termed to be competitors for any company. The big threat of the operating company is that the customer may switch to other company's product which gives the same or relative satisfaction offered by the product or operating company. For example, Pepsi and Coke are rivals for each other in beverages segment. They keep on launching and promoting their brands to pull the customers on their product consumption. In this changing marketing environment is always monitored. It is done by conducting competitors analysis, which is a great challenge. It is done to monitor its competitor offers to create a strategic advantage. The level of competition among the competitors may be segregated and studied as number one, firms offering anything to the same target market. Number two, firms offering products which do a similar job. Number three, firms offering virtually identical products. So, this is how the changing marketing environment may also be observed by competitor analysis carried out by Porter 5 Forces model. Now, this model offers a way of assessing the likely strength of competition in any given market. What are the 5 forces given by Porter in 1990? This is number one, bargaining power of supplier. Number two, bargaining power of customer. Number three, threat of new entrants. Number four, threat of substitute product and services. And number five, rivalry among current competitors. For example, online shopping websites like Flipkart.com, OLX.in and Snapdeal.com keep on promoting their promos on TV to make the consumer aware and purchase or shop through their sites. So this is how competitors goes on or analysis is done. Customer. It is the most important segmentation in micro environment. The customer are the actual buyers of the products and services. They are the real decision maker to purchase or not to purchase. The changing marketing environment is totally focused by this environment. If customer will not purchase, the consumer will not consume. the company has to study the customer market, as each customer market has its own characteristics. Broadly, customer market is differentiated as business market, consumer market, government market, international market, reseller market, and non-government market. Here is a video which is worthwhile watching to put on the website of M-07.Changing can explain the whole environment of changing marketing environment of Bass Pro shops open for fishing and other activities to give customers their satisfaction at a new level. I acknowledge them and thank them for posting these type of videos which may be used for explaining the changing marketing environment also. So please kindly look on the video on the link provided. Now, types of marketing environment. Basically, marketing environment is of two types. Macro environment, it is linked with the external environment. So micro environment are the factors that affect all the firms in an industry, and external environment are the factors that operate outside the organization. And second is micro environment. These are the factors that affect one firm only, and internal environment are the factors that operate within the organization. So both are clubbed together in studies. So what is macro environment? Largely now macro and external environment clubs CNPESTELG, clubbed as CNPESTELG. So C stands for cultural environment, N stands for natural environment, P stands for political environment, E stands for economical environment, S stands for social environment, T stands for technological environment, and next E stands for ecological or eco-friendly environment, and then comes legal environment from L and global environment, that is G. So C and pestle G. Now let's come to the main actors in micro and internal environment. So number one, the main actors here focused are suppliers. The main factors of bargaining power of suppliers are concentration among suppliers, degree to which suppliers supply the product or the substitute for each other, then vertical integration, then the switching cost. So this was supplier. Now the second player is public. So public is defined here as local public, general public, internal public, and few more. Then comes the competitors. Now, competitor analysis basically covers infrastructure, SWOT, likely plans, the importance of buyer to the sellers. So, these are where the company competitors are involved. Then comes marketing intermediaries. Marketing intermediaries are what? The resellers, physical distribution firms, marketing services agencies, financial intermediaries, and these are the four things which are there. So these relate, and few more things we will be covering in the e-text and other animated form to understand what is micro and macro environment, and above all how they affect the changing marketing environment. So the customers, the last but not the least, the customers, the customer market, the business market, the consumer market, the government market, the international market, the reseller market, and even the NGO market, the non-government market, also involved the customer clientele base. So the students, now let's to be summarize what we have learned in this module is that today it is the requirement to understand changing marketing environment. This is giving impact on changes and thus affecting the whole marketing scenario. All the businesses are dependent on the changes of these environments. Today, the customer satisfaction is basically focused to greet the customer and how the customer is very much involved with promotion mix, with the local environment, with the legal environment, with the political environment, with the competitor analysis, and above all, how this changing environment affects the customer satisfaction. So, the marketing environment, which clubs the entire C and pestle G, the suppliers, the competitors, the marketing mix, micro environment, internal environment, external environment, is above all summarized, and you will be happy to know that this whole module will take you to the next level of understanding business environment. Thank you.